recording. So, last we left off, the wild roses continue to stay in the ruined temple that had once been a holy center or a center of worship for the lycanthropes called the Oak Father's children. You all right there, Felix? The said tribe been prepared to leave for quite a while. They were just waiting for literally anyone they sent up there to get back to them. They arrived shortly thereafter. A spell cast by their archdruidess called Transport via Plants. The tribe immediately started to set about setting up, for lack of a better descriptor, camp until they could create something a little more permanent, as their goal is to rebuild the temple. And rebuild the temple, rebuild the forest now that they have returned to their sacred ancestral homeland. Offsea had gotten the archdruidess essentially caught up on what happened and introduced her to Tobias. And the archdruidess then suggested that the two of them take a walk. She, as such, starts to lead the way towards the outer edges of the temple. Do you follow her?
Yeah, Tobias will follow behind her.
All right.
If I remember correctly, I think Lish was a dog. And
yes, Lish was a dog and was playing with the various children of the...
He was acting as Tobias's support animal as he talked to the druids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He had come and Toby had given a little scritch because he was being nosy.
Fair. But yeah, and the archdruidess, you may recall, is a half elf, and she's very old. I don't think I said her name in canon yet. I think I just left it in
Yeah, Tobias did not ask for her name.
Okay, yeah. I just put her name in the chat. But her name is Archdruidess Gawe Zohawe.
Gaze away.
Which is an actual name, by the way.
Okay.
For the Mohawk people, in case you're interested. But anyway.
Oh, that's neat.
She is not saying anything. She seems to just be waiting for you as she's walking.
Okay. It takes a bit for Tobias to eventually work up the the courage to actually start speaking to her. But when he does, he eventually says, sorry, I'm trying to like figure out how I want to word this in my head. Julius, the question that I wanted to ask was if when I was a boy, I was bit by a lycanthrope, a bear. I contracted the curse, and from those that I've spoken to, they've never seen anything like what I am. Have you ever heard of another that can turn into an owl bear?
I have, in my day, a long time ago. There are stories about it, such a thing.
You have? Did they have wings?
What do you know about the origin of owl bears as they are today?
Regrettably, nothing.
There are stories that say that owl bears, among other creatures, were created originally by being known as Baba Yaga. It is unknown if the original owl bear is still in existence, but the stories say that Baba Yaga took various creatures and forced them magically together. And then sometimes released them and sometimes kept them for her own amusement. These stories say that the original type of owl bear, she kept it. And these, the ones she created, are more powerful than most. And they desperately want to escape. The stories say that every now and then it will create an owl bear lycanthrope in an effort to call out to the outside world and ask for freedom.
Out of character, I just want to make sure that I'm writing all this stuff down correctly. She said the owlbear origins, they were creatures created by Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
It's unknown if the original owlbear lives. Stories say that she would take creatures, magically fuse them together for like her own entertainment. She would either keep them or was it release or kill?
She would release them into the world. So
okay.
What the Archdruidess is implying is that essentially the owl bear prototype she came up with originally had wings, and she decided to keep that one for herself. She removed wings from the others and released them into the world, and that's their idea of the origin story of the owl bear.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Okay, swapping back to character.
Actually, I will say roll a history check or an arcana check.
I'll do Arcana. I'll do that. It's slightly better. 15 plus 5. That's gonna be a 20.
Okay, 30-20. Not bad.
20.
You have heard of Baba Yaga before. You are uncertain if she is an archfey that has come to the material plane, or if she was just an incredibly powerful witch that she's been able to stick around for a long time. She's, according to the story, supposed to be very cruel, and allegedly she's one of those stories that people tell in your country, like, don't go into the unclaimed lands or Baba Yaga will get you, like that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, it's just the next question I was gonna have to Defias ask, which was, what is Baba Yaga? But now Defias has a vague understanding. He's a smarter cookie than I thought. I'm so proud of him. Upon hearing the stories about Baba Yaga and the original owlbear, he then asks, do you know where let's see how it. It's like very careful word choices here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh god. Okay. Do you know where these stories of Baba Yaga originated, or where I would go about finding this owl bed?
I do not think that would be wise. Baba Yaga is nomadic in a way. She is supposed to live here in what you call the unclaimed lands, but she roams about in her own home. She has a hut that she lives in, extra dimensional in its own nature, that moves where Baba Yaga wishes it to move.
Let's see.
Toby can probably tell if he's still got his hands in Lish's fur, that Lish's fur is like standing on end a little bit, hearing all this talk about Baba Yaga, and seems rather uncomfortable with hearing you talk about like trying to find her.
He's not looking for her specifically.
I know, but
It
the
probably will
owlbear is
find
at
her.
Baba Yaga's house.
This is laying the seeds for an end game thing if you want to pursue it.
Honestly, thank fucking God, because with Tobias, bitch, I don't know what direction I'm taking him.
Yeah, I mean, it's an option if you choose to pursue it.
The option is have your bones chewed on by Baba Yaga. That's the option.
I have stats for her. She is very high level.
Oh yeah, this is definitely like way the fucking future. But yeah. Tobias can feel Lish kind of like his fur being on edge. Also, thank God, the emotional support animal came with him on the walk.
My emotional support druid.
And kind of like idly pets him, kind of like soothingly and stuff when he feels like how tense he's become, before eventually just kind of lets out a sigh and says to Zertis, well, even if I am unable to help or find out the full truth of this thorn, I'm at least glad that I have some answers to why this happened. I thank you, Arcturus. You've given me much more than I could have hoped for.
She kind of looks at you with a piercing gaze. Like everything about the way she looks at you and she holds herself suggests that this is a woman who knows things. She's aware of things. And she says, the way that our kind is treated, there is a concept of becoming a monster and discovering that something savage or uncontrollable exists within you, but it has the potential to be liberating as well. It, being a lycanthrope can be about growth and change and courage rather than something that needs to be controlled and concealed. The way that others see lycanthropes, they see it as about shame. But for those of us on this side of the window, the way they view us, it can be about anger or trauma or not belonging, or perhaps even the fear that you might be unlovable. The shame of being bitten has to be that you were bitten by the wolf and that you survived. You survived because you became the wolf yourself. You became what you perceive as a terrible, monstrous thing, and the terrible, monstrous thing is you. It's the part that survives the attack. It is terrifying that this is you. Lycanthropes are people who are very hurt. Not only that, but they've spent their lives up to this point trying hard as they can to be whatever the opposite of a lycanthrope is, something tame or yielding, something that is not angry and unpredictable or bestial. But the beast inside of you is also you, because no matter how much you don't believe it, you want to make it. You want to survive. And you will fight so that you will live. Werewolves can also be people who are incredibly afraid. It's about the inevitability of not being lovable, being a monster, thinking that's unforgivable. It's about the ability to withstand anything that will happen to you. It's about your body betraying you. It's about carrying it as something you perceive as terrible and ugly inside of you and locking it up where no one can see it. Because the thought of anyone else seeing you that way is unbearable. It's about all of these things and more. However, the beast inside of you is a part of you that loves you unconditionally. It's a part of you that bites when something tries to hurt you. When something tries to put you back into the place you were allegedly supposed to be. Of course, it's scary. It's scary to find that you are impossibly strong and maybe selfish to dare to protect yourself. And that your self-hatred isn't enough to save you from the savage, stubborn knot of self-love you carry in your chest. But it's also the answer to that question. What if I am awful? What if I am terrible, too terrible to look at and too terrible to love? What if you are a monster? Well, what then? You survived, and that is nothing to be ashamed of.
Tobias kind of like looks. Okay, first off, that was a fucking great ass speech. I want to say. I just gotta come out and say it. That was a gorgeous fucking speech. Okay, back in character now. I was just, God, I was just getting like so many visuals. Like, fuck. Okay.
I hope my clapping went through, by the way, because you guys, I don't have a camera still. You guys can't see me do it. Anyway,
Back in character. Sorry. Tobias looks at her in awe. Part of him feels like he's been flayed open. That all the dark secrets and thoughts that he's had built up inside his chest throughout his life have just been gutted out and dumped onto the forest floor in front of him. His eyes are definitely a bit wet. It's clear that the words she spoke to him were moving. They were powerful. And as his hands kind of tighten a little in Lish's fur, he takes a shaky breath. He asks her, Archstewardess, do you think You think every child has the right to experience life, even if they were a foolish boy who ran away from home.
She nods and says, everyone has the right to love, no matter age, no matter anything that may occur to them that would try to convince them otherwise.
Do you know why a parent wouldn't love their child? No matter how hard they try.
They all
Oh, sorry, let me
are,
make that a little more clear. I just realized I worded that wrong. Do you know why a parent would never love their child, despite how hard that child tried to be what they wanted?
if a parent does not love a child, it is no fault of the child. It is only fault in the parents. It is only on the parents. And that is why the child will have the opportunity to find those in life who do love. She kind of inclines her head ever so slightly towards where Offsea is.
Tobias, he's biting his lips super hard to avoid making a sound as tears start to fall from his eyes. He's kind of leaning against Lish a bit as he takes one hand and is wiping his eyes and things. Thank you, Archdruidess.
We have had this conversation before. I remember, even if you do not. And I will have it with you again, if you so choose.
Have we met before?
I have met you and your companions. You have not met me. I'm sorry, my cat just clawed the shit out of my back.
Yes, good.
Go away.
Tobias is definitely shocked at that. Was it a vision? Was it...
Things are changing. It is difficult to put into words But there is something very wrong with the world, with this plane. I cannot speak anymore on it.
Tobias kind of has an expression of both understanding but also resignation. In the end, he kind of finally finishes wiping his eyes and gives her a deep bow of respect and says, I understand you've already helped me immensely this day. I thank you for granting me the time to ask you these questions and helping me find one clear path.
I look forward to our next meeting.
And I as well. Does she show any indication of heading back to the camp?
No, she is going to hang out in the woods for a little while.
Fair enough. Tobias will leave her be gently, like, he still has a hand on Lish this entire time, leading him along. And if Lish chooses to follow Tobias back to the camp, while they're walking, Tobias rustles Lish's fur, like gently, giving a scratch under the chin and behind the ears, and like leaning close and whispering, "Thank you for being here." And then he'll give him a little kiss on the head.
Aww. Lish will walk with Toby more or less back to the camp, but once Toby is back at the camp, he'll kind of nose at him and kind of pull away a little bit, and actually walk back into the woods, back towards where the Archdruidess was.
The motion that Lish made, it was him indicating he's walking back, or did he want Tobias to follow?
No, he's kind of like nosing
I'm
him.
heading back in.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
Go on then.
Tobias gives him a small smile, rubs his face a little bit and stuff, and gives him another kiss before saying, "Be careful out there."
Lish is gonna do a big lick across your face. and just kind of take off into the forest a little bit, stop, and look back, and then keep going. And then he's gonna try and make his way back to the Archdruidess.
Not difficult to find. She's an old lady.
Just how old are we talking here?
She didn't go too far.
Yeah, so Lish will kind of go up to her a little bit and circle around her. I don't think Lish has ever encountered her before, as far as his memory goes.
No.
He's kind of curious if she understands animal speech. So he'll just be like,
let's find out. See what she can do. She's already cast a bunch of spells. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's got Speak with Animals prepared.
Dope.
So she casts that And she says, I recognize you as well.
Do you know?
Of course.
And what do you know of me? He's kind of like pacing a little bit, I guess is the word. He's kind of like sussing her out a little bit more than he was able to when Toby was here.
I know that you used to be an archfey.
And what else?
That you were the Lord of the Winter Court.
Do you go from plane to plane? Or is this your home and you've never traversed elsewhere?
There was a time when I did do a bit of traveling through different planes. But these days I am old, and so I stay put.
Well, if you know me, then you know why I ask this question.
I do.
You know what my follow-up question may be. Do you have a way to traverse planes? You are the most powerful druid we have encountered thus far.
I can send you back, potentially. However, it is not time for you to go back just yet. You have business here.
What are you talking about? There is no business here more important than what needs to be done in the Feywild.
There are things here. There are things going on at which you and your companions are the epicenter.
Kind of like stands there, kind of watching her for a hot minute there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, you know more than you're saying.
There was a time when you and your companions went to me for help.
For what?
The issue is I cannot recall. Things are fracturing. I am not supposed to be telling you as much as I am, but I do because I wish to assist.
If whatever is going on keeps happening, then the only way we'll know to stop it is if we know what's going on.
I do not fully understand it myself.
Does this have something to do with what Fiola is getting up to? Is this Fae? Or is this something with the gods?
This is something of the gods. It is beyond the Fae. It is beyond you and I.
Not so nearly. But you are making the choice not to send us to the Feywild. What gives you the right to make that choice?
If I send you to the Feywild now, you would die.
You can't know that.
I can.
Kind of sits, like squints and looks at her like, Oh, baby.
He's got nothing going on up here.
He's a little walnut brain.
Brain empty. Only play.
Well, if you will not help us in getting there, at least not directly, we do seek a tuning fork set to the plane of the Feywilds. Perhaps if you will not directly transport us, perhaps you could assist us in procuring that. That way your hands are clean.
I no longer have a tuning fork to the Feywild. I do have one here to the material plane that I can provide you with.
Kind of eyes her. And would you want something for it?
No.
All right then. I would gladly take you up on your gift.
She nods and says, "Very well. Follow me back to the temple." She moves very slowly. She is old.
Fine. He'll in fact go and walk next to her and offer his back as something for her to lean on. If
She's got her bident with her that she's using as a support. And you notice that, like, even as she's walking through the underbrush and the undergrowth, the plants seem to sort of part around her and close off, not having any difficulty moving through the terrain at all. Like, you'd think that an old lady in the woods would be like stumbling over roots or whatever, but not at all. She moves very gracefully as if she's walking through shallow water.
Lish kind of watches it all silently, but at one point or another gives kind of a big kind of huffing sigh of both admiration and intense jealousy.
And when we get back to camp, she speaks to a couple of members of her tribe, and they rush off to assist her, and they return with a tuning fork attuned to the material plane.
Dope. Lish is actually going to poof into his man form and go to meet her as she walks towards him.
And you are taller than she is.
Well, I think that the bow of her back probably gives him a couple inches.
Yeah. You're taller than she is, and as you uh, as as you approach, she sort of bows respectfully in a way that you are used to, just sort of inclines her head and holds her arms out, and then passes you the tuning fork.
He will take it and give her a bow back. You don't know how much this means to me. Well, perhaps you do.
I do. You may not know it yet, but you and your companions are performing a service to the world. If this will assist you, I'm glad to provide it.
Kind of tilts his head and looks at her, kind of trying to make a judge of her.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Are you rolling an insight?
no,
Or are you just looking at her?
he's just being very appraising, basically.
Okay.
And says, if we are successful, I'll have to stop by and say hello.
I would enjoy that very much, I believe.
Madam. He'll kind of give that little half bow again and make his way kind of back over to where everybody is.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
I imagine most of us have just been vibing.
Yeah,
I was about to
Tobias
say
goes and
vibing.
rejoins the group after coming back from speaking with the Archdruidess. While his eyes, might be a little red from crying and stuff, he appears a bit better. Like, he's smiling. Like, I almost feel like this is probably the most uplifted the party has seen. Like, a consistent uplifted state with Tobias, where he feels or appears like he has a presence that just says he's a bit happier.
Would Levy notice?
Also, he'll probably be showing Levy the cool bowstring his dad gave him. He's like, Levy, look at this thing.
So he comes right up to her and all that.
Like, comes back to the group. It's like,
Check out what my dad got me for Christmas.
back and stuff. Kind of like eases back into normal conversation and things. He's like, oh, Levy, I didn't get to show you this, but Oopsie gave this to me. He pulls out the bowstring and stuff. It's a kinetic bowstring.
A kinetic bowstring, yes.
Yep. Cool. I remembered it correctly. Kinetic bowstring.
I looked that up after Avery name dropped it, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
I know, he just thought Levy might think it was cool.
She does, especially because Toby seems so excited about it. Because, like, she knows she has autism. She gets really excited over little things, too. Like, she gets it. She's riveted. She's into it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just like, oh, that's so cool. And then I presume she notices that he's been crying, but he looks happier. Because you said it was noticeable.
Yeah, you usually know how like after someone cries and stuff, their eyes are a
Probably.
little bit red and things like that.
Yeah.
Even though he
Yeah.
wiped his eyes and things, it's just that.
She'll kind of, I guess, look up at him and look a little concerned for a second and be like, are you okay? You've been crying, but you seem happier.
Just to make sure that nothing cut out, Levy said, "Are you okay? You look like you're crying, but you seem happier." Was that all she said?
Yeah,
Okay. I just want to make sure because, like, when I look up at the face cam, like your mouth moves, and then I hear the audio. So I guess my computer's just lagging a little bit, and so I'm just like, am I missing anything, or like, is it time lag? It's just a time lag, so it's good. We good. Honestly, things feel a bit lighter. I got some answers behind what all of this, and he kind of like indicates to himself. Why my transformation is like that, and while I can't necessarily pursue it, I feel like I've gotten a sense of closure, or that I've gotten some closure behind why things happened the way they did.
Is he done speaking?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Sorry, I do long pauses.
No, it's good. It's good. That's why I asked. She's gonna kind of just like, as he talks, like she's gonna get this like slow, like building like smile on her face. Like she's just like so pleased to be hearing this. And she's gonna kind of maybe reach up and like maybe up on her tiptoes because he's fucking tall. And like kind of like brush his hair back from his face a little bit. And say, I'm really happy for you. I'm happy to hear that. And then just kind of settle back on her feet.
Aw, he's gonna give a little bashful smile at that, and like his hand kind of goes over where she brushes hair and just kind of like make sure it's, it stays brushed back where like how she did it and stuff. And he's like, thank you.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I was just saying Tobias is just showing her the cool bowstring that he got. Is like, yeah, this is what he's been doing while Lish is in the woods.
Well, if she's gonna notice that he's crying, she's gonna be like concerned. I could not hear you for a second there. Your audio didn't come through.
Oh, sorry. I said valid, very valid.
Okay.
So who else is doing stuff?
Well, this doesn't necessarily count, but Hawk's been fiddling with an arrow for the past probably hour. Twirling it about like a fidget toy, sort of. Just curious, because Hawk's probably wondering this as well, just for like travel logistics. What time is it? If you say 10:07, I will murder you.
It's probably around, I'd say at this point, 11:30 to noonish.
Okay. All right. Because like, sort of what he's thinking about is like, all right, so if we're going to go to Aaron's place, then we probably don't want to leave at night because it's very dangerous. So I don't know how much longer we'll be staying here because I don't know if anyone else has unresolved business, blah, blah, blah. This is all while he's like twirling an arrow in his hand, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, you all need to discuss what your plan is.
Well, did we already agree that the plan was essentially after meeting the Archdruidess and stuff, when it's our time, i.e., not at night, we start heading north, or at least like the direction towards Aaron's location of his family, to see about that whole business.
Mm-hmm. Are you all planning on going immediately?
Well, for what it's worth, Demir has actually like unpacked shit. She has kind of like she's been sort of helping the tribesfolk get set up, but like it's clear that they got their shit. So she's just going to go about like kind of setting up her own camp. She is like she's unpacking her bag.
Clearly Demir is staying the night. With or without
she's
us.
Got her tent figured out. Yeah. For what it's worth.
I think we deserve a long rest in one location.
Didn't we just long rest here though?
We deserve several long rests in one location.
Like there was Medusa Day, then we had a long rest, and then in the morning all of this happened.
Yeah, you fought the Medusa yesterday. Time is fun.
For what it's worth, Hawk can see Demir like unpacking her shit. And if he tries to stop her, good luck.
Lisha's gonna go over to Demir and show off his brand new tuning fork.
Just sort of like, oh, sorry, this stuff. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say like, Hawk like looks over at Demir still setting up things, and it's just like, well, I was going to ask if we were to head out this afternoon, but I guess the answer is no.
I mean, you can just ditch Demir.
Hi.
Hey. Hawk's not her husband.
Yeah, if Hawk says that to her, if Hawk says that to her, Demir's just kind of gonna be like, by all means, if you want to go.
I'd rather not.
All right. I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling up for another trek through the woods today.
I could always go for a trek through the woods, but that's just me. Maybe not these ones as much, but...
Suppose it is your home, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I've had my fill of stuffy houses.
Are you doing all right?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps a bit better. Starting to figure things out, and not just in the sense of my being.
That's good.
What about you?
We're in a half-destroyed temple with a bunch of werewolf people, lycanthropes. I'm doing okay.
Mhm. Lish is close, right?
If not standing right there. I don't know. We haven't determined if this is before or after he comes up with his tuning fork. So
We could say either. If you want Lish to be there, Huck's got nothing to hide so far.
I say that he comes up right as you two are talking.
Okay.
What?
I'm guessing the phone is the tuning fork in this case.
What is that?
I was thinking, like, I wonder if there's something metal around here. I'm like, oh, Hawk is made out of metal.
Oh,
Hawk
no.
doesn't have like any metal showing, does he?
He does not, but he does have a wooden mask if you're feeling brave.
Fucking hailing, guys.
Not over here,
No,
but
what he's gonna do is he's gonna take the tuning fork and he's gonna tap it on Demir's axe, her iron axe. Ding! Ding, 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 ding.
Demir kind of looks at him like, what, do you want me to sing? Is that what? Like, what? I don't.
First of all, yes, but no, this is something that I need for traversing between planes. And the Archdruidess very kindly gave it to me.
the moment Demir asks Lish if he expects her to sing and Lish says yes, Hawk starts pulling out his bracelet. Liar, rather.
No, put that back.
Lish kind of like points at Hawk like,
Hawk just sort of like tilts his head a little like, do you two know what you want then?
What I want is the other half of this tuning fork.
It looks whole to me.
It needs a twin. Not as easily gotten, unfortunately. And he's gonna stow it away. And what are you two talking about over here?
Checking in on each other.
Ah?
Well, she's doing fine, and she asked me how I was doing first.
Thrilling. Absolutely thrilling.
Lish, I know what sarcasm is.
Good. So about that singing then, Demir, you did bring it up an offer.
No.
Hold up, I need to roll a performance check.
Lish kind of like cozying up to her, like, are you sure?
I'm gonna use the D20 that actually trusts me. Because I've still got a -1 to this, by the way. That's a 7. Yep. He like plucks one string and it's horribly off key. Like instead of a, let's say like an A sharp, it's more of like a B flat or something. He like looks startled and starts tuning it.
Maybe you want to use that tuning fork, Hawk.
It's been a while since I was able to pull this out.
Do you know how to use a tuning fork?
No, you can't use the tuning fork on the, no. I am interested to see how your performance has improved since you procured that.
I haven't had much chance to practice, so don't expect much.
Surprise me.
Oh yes, please do.
There is something I, as a player, would love to do, but Hawk doesn't want to play that card just yet.
So anyway, here's Wonderwall.
All right. Hawk spends a bit of time tuning, and let's try again. This time I use his dice.
The hail has begun here.
I still haven't gotten it yet. Oh, fun! That's a dirty one. He tries to start with like a 5-string strum and all of it's off key.
You start to strum and you hear ping, and one of the strings breaks.
Well, fuck.
Tobias just got a string. Perhaps you can...
That's not a string.
Tobias like has the string wrapped up in his hand and just kind of like holds it to his chest and turns slightly away. Oh.
That string's meant for a bow and not a lyre. Sorry to disappoint. I'll have to get this fixed some other time then. Unless I can think of anything to play with only 5 strings. I'm assuming it's a 6-string lyre. I don't know how many strings a lyre has. Let's look that up.
18 million strings.
Look about like 8 to 10, maybe 9. Okay. Demir, you're a decent musician, aren't you?
I wouldn't say decent.
You certainly showed me up that one time.
Some might say more than decent.
I was taught to play instruments. That doesn't make me any good at them.
Where did you learn to play then?
I was educated at home. I didn't go to school or anything, but I had various tutors.
I could say the same. Oh god, the voice crack. Ugh. I'll admit I've been curious for. Oh god damn it! Hang on. My voice is not agreeing with me today. I've been curious for a while. I'll admit. What was your home like? I see Kenzie's grin. Let's just been waiting for someone to ask this question.
My cat is in screaming mode.
I can hear him. He's angry.
Okay.
Tell him we love him, please.
Oh. There we go.
Hi, Bo. You loud dork.
What a loud man. He's upset because it's hailing and he doesn't like the noise.
Mom, there's ice falling from the sky. The world's ending.
Well, at one time I could have been counted among the nobility of my homeland.
Really?
I grew up in the capital of my notes crashed. Fuck.
Oh, damn it.
I pulled them up and they immediately crashed.
Oh, no.
God.
Avery could probably help you out while you try and get it back up.
I mean, what specifically are you hoping to share?
I was just going to say the capital city and I lost it.
Yes, let me just pull that up.
I am Mojave. I come from insert city name here.
Would you be able to speak a little bit louder?
Yeah,
Oh,
you are a
sorry
little
about
quiet. I tried to find a way to turn you up, and Zoom does not have one. It's all right. We just want to be able to hear your voice.
No, it's okay.
I must document information.
Man, My notes app is not liking me.
Just to make sure I heard it correctly, Demir said that she came from a family that was nobility.
She said at one time she could have been counted among the nobility of her home.
Okay.
She is Mojave, and she grew up in the capital city of insert name whenever my notes stop failing.
So the continent is called Lorati, which is separated by the Audric Sea from Saya, where you guys are now. Demir is talking about Mahaba, Marhaba, and the capital city is called Kesa, Khesa.
I am
These
not happy.
fancy names.
Also, Felix, please tell the ratty I love him.
He.
With a sweet. That is all. Not much to speak of.
Can't say I've heard of that place. Is it across the ocean? You may be surprised to know that I could probably say the same.
Is that so? And where
Sorry?
do you... Is that so? And where do you hail from?
There's another nation on the eastern edge of this continent. And, well, as you can imagine, creating me can't have been cheap. My father was of nobility there.
I see.
That's far behind me now, or perhaps it's ahead of me? I'm not quite sure.
You mentioned something like that before.
Yes, it was perhaps a week ago.
Mhm.
I don't think he was around for it, and he kind of just like side tilts his head towards Lish.
You said you remember an earlier time before you woke up. And what was that time exactly?
That's still foggy, I'm afraid.
You don't even know what year?
I can't seem to remember, no. And it's both perplexing and frustrating that I can't. All I know is that it was later than today.
Given that, do you think perhaps your creator or maybe even your mentor is still around out there? Do you have any interest in tracking them down again? Perhaps you can see yourself.
He's sort of like silent for a bit, contemplating this potential reality, and he's just like, eventually, I'm not sure. Because if I am indeed in the past, I can't help but fear what would happen if I did something incorrectly.
It'd only be interesting, don't you think?
There's many kinds of interesting, and there's not all of them are kinds that we wish to see.
I, for one, would love to see.
Demir just kind of like inclines her head a little bit towards Lish. Not saying she agrees with him, but
but saying something of the sort.
Not to mention that if I am wrong and I'm not as far back as I think I am, or if I'm not, or I'm not far back at all, I don't have any intention of returning home.
Why not?
Well, as you may have surmised from what I told you, my father did try to keep me a secret.
Right.
The rest of the family didn't know that I was this sentient. They knew that I existed. But to them, I may as well have been little more than a service robot. Service automaton, rather. He doesn't know what a robot is. Shit.
Automaton.
A service construction, then. There we go. A little more than a service construct. If I return, they might not regard me any differently, or they might fear that I am alive.
Mayhaps. Mayhaps not. What is to be gained by going there, I suppose, is the main question.
Little, if anything.
Yeah, there you go. But I do suppose if you wanted to know if there were any more of you, or perhaps there are plans or
He only ever meant for one. I would be surprised if there were more.
prototypes,
That's me.
even before you.
From what I know, no.
Do you know for certain?
He told me so himself.
People
Men
lie
lie.
all the time.
You must remember that I'm not entirely machine.
Which is like, what? News to me.
To prove a point, Hawk magically draws an arrow, crackling lightning and all that. I doubt a simple
you
construct
mean
could do this.
Magic, not flesh, which is what my mind
Oh, God's
immediately
forbid,
went
no.
to.
Yeah, I was a little. Which part of you is flesh?
None, I would hope. He was a kind man. And it's frankly a little insulting that you would think any less of him.
I did not know the man. I only know the bare essentials of what you've said about him. I do not know his character or his life.
I've known many men of his type.
Have you?
I told you, I grew up amongst the nobility.
Were they all inventors then? Dreamers?
Some were, some weren't. Some were ambitious, and some were not. But in a way, most nobility see themselves as builders, be it of empire, wealth, or trade, or their own name.
See themselves as what now? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
See themselves as builders of a type.
Builders, okay. Real pet hours in the top third of the images I see.
He is biting my dice tray and I have to punish him.
Lish kind of tilts his head at Hawk and says, I don't say any of these things as an insult to your maker. I only say my thoughts as someone who does not know him, but is curious.
Hmm.
Curious about you as well.
Well, my father, he was always interested in helping. And that's part of why he made me to help, but more specifically, to help him because he sorely needed it. If he ever did intend to make more of me, I imagine you would have done so with a similar purpose. He was not keen on making weapons of war.
This family he was a part of, they were nobles, you indicated. What kind of nobles?
There's kinds of nobles.
Oh, Hawk, our sweet child. Of course, there are different kinds of nobles.
Could have fooled me.
It depends on where the money comes from. Is that not right, Demir?
That is true. After all, do I seem the same type of noble as your former master?
Depending on how you mean, as far as the differences lie, I'm not sure if you want my answer. Felix gets it.
Demir just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit affectionately, like, I know what I am. You do not need to shield me from it.
I think I will anyway, for my sake as well as yours.
Now that is wise.
If we're not too far away from the party, imagine other people can hear this.
Is
Hawk's
anybody
Hawk's not
in?
exactly keeping an eye out for eavesdroppers.
Yeah, I mean, the way this conversation is being held, Demir was setting up her stuff in the middle of the temple, so
Not in the middle. Like, I found a spot, like, kind of off, like, not where everyone is gathered. I'm not setting
Yeah, I
up in
sort
the
of
middle of the
imagined
town
like close to the
square.
tree line or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
assume that Hawk would start talking about all this stuff.
Just in the middle of the plaza,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He may be feeling a little more open, but he's still got secrets to keep.
Not
Not for him, for the sake of the world or some shit. You'd have to ask him.
I am curious though if anybody's listening in.
So am I. This is free information, people.
To my knowledge, you guys didn't go anywhere to have this conversation. You're at the camp setup, which is where Levy and Tobias and I believe
So are
Aaron
you
are as
listening?
well. So yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to ignore a conversation that's happening just a few feet away.
Aaron, for the record, is way off the edge of the clearing, still painting. He's been there all day.
Jesus
I'm gonna have
Christ.
to check in on him soon then.
Somebody help this boy.
No.
You
Don't
like-
help him, encourage him.
All right, Aaron, we're
occasionally-
going to the temple fountain for bath therapy.
God.
I feel like after
He's occasionally like looking over to the group and every so often looking up at the sky to where the sun is and looking back at the group and then going back to painting.
I feel like after her little chat with Toby, Levy will go like check on Aaron, make sure that he hasn't
Well,
like
we should like cut to
neglected
that
eat
after
for
Lish
several
and
hours or
Demir are done
something.
confronting Hawk here.
I don't think he's eaten. That is a fair point.
Baby's gonna make sure he eats. Just as
He's
an
lost in the
aside.
paint.
Thank you.
Anyway, where were we?
Demir
Right.
doesn't really have anything else. Unless Hawk does. She's just kind of going to go back to setting up her stuff.
Well, if you two don't have anything else to say, I should probably continue trying to tune this thing. He sort of like jostles the lyre.
Good
So,
luck.
I don't know how you're gonna fix that string out here. Perhaps one of the villagers has a spare.
Maybe, maybe not. That's a good idea, though.
I think I saw some of them tuning some form of instrument not too long ago.
Perhaps I'll ask around then. I don't have much to set up anyway.
You go ahead. I'm going to. He's gonna start making his way over towards Toby.
All right.
So before we pan away from Hawk, Hawk, I'd like you to just make a quick history check.
All right. That's a +2. Hell yeah, 21.
Okay. So you're sort of thinking about your home country of Island. And you're also thinking about what Demir had said about Mahaba. And I mean, you do know of Mahaba and the continent to the south. I mean, you're not an imbecile. You know about things. You do know that there are 3 countries to 3 countries in the continent to the south. And since you're home, Emerald Harbor, it's run more like a city-state now, because of reasons that you know. You have a healthy trade relationship going on with Coron and Tigwe, which are the 2 other countries to the south. However, things are low-key tense between Island and Mahaba, with rumors that a couple decades ago, some Ileni bandits had kidnapped the woman that was engaged to the prince. But like Mahaba is the most prosperous kingdom to the south, and trade with them continues. But it's a little shifty. You guys are like kind of eyeing each other like, don't trust like that. But that's what you would know about Marhaba.
Mhm. I'm not sure we will get all that down, but
I wrote it down for you already in the information for Hawk worksheet I gave you at the beginning of the campaign.
okay, cool.
But I wanted to remind you.
All right, thank you.
I'm always glad to repeat anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aaron, how's your painting going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's roll a check for that.
Especially now since Levy's made him eat.
Yeah.
She's fueled the
Wow,
art.
you really do get much better work done when you're not like starving. Who knew?
Hyperfixation real.
God. He needs to get this done, and he is not good at painting.
Oh no.
That's okay. We love him anyway.
So that's a 6.
The style is turning out more abstract than you would have hoped for.
That's a very nice
is it that
way
you're
of
trying?
putting it.
What is it that you're trying to paint?
When you overpaint.
It's a good question. He is trying to make some little symbols. Real basic shape, just in color. Yeah, but they are, representational. So it's not really.
Doesn't really look like what you were hoping it would look like.
Unfortunate about that. Actually, if Levy's just down there, might have a conversation.
Yeah, she'll sit with him if he asks.
Awesome. Yeah. So he's just
Otherwise, she's just
painting.
vibing.
Exactly. Thank you. See, he's gonna just be painting, like, aware that he's there, but not looking to her. And then after a particularly bad streak, he's gonna over and say, I hope you don't mind me asking, but what do your wounds mean?
Woo! Boy, do I have extensive notes for this.
Oh boy.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about it. Shit. Why didn't I transfer those notes over? Hang on. Give me a second. I played myself.
God, I'm feeling this.
Oh yeah, hey God of the Realm.
What up?
Just because I've put all this time and effort into it doesn't necessarily mean that Libby knows it. As far as I know, so would she know all of this specifics? Would she know how to answer that question?
She would not know the specifics. She would know what she has been told about Rune Childs and what that means.
Okay.
She might know some smaller details based on her research with Poet.
Okay. So should I
but it's ultimately, she doesn't know like the deep lore, but beyond that, it's ultimately up to you.
I mean, like, would she know what her specific ones would mean? Because I have
suspect
those.
That she definitely would have looked that up with Poet.
Baller. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Also, can she light up at will? Can she just like
no, I think that's an in battle thing, but
okay,
she can draw them for Erin if she would like to.
All right, I presume she has those drawn in her notebook, so she's gonna get that out.
Yes.
She's gonna get that out and kind of like turn pages because while she is organized, they're all in like vague sections of her notebook.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
She's gonna kind of turn pages until she goes, oh, there it is, and kind of she's not going to show it to him directly, but she's also not going to like hold it really close to her chest and try to hide it either. So it's just like she's not she's caught between I trust this person and also I really shouldn't be showing this to anybody because of how
You
she
probably-
was raised.
Yeah, that
So
fucking checks out.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, she's
probably
gonna
like
kind of she might like cover certain things with like her hands or something and like just show him the shapes. Because she's
all right.
sketched them out as they've appeared on her.
Mhm.
And kind of go through the walkthrough of it of just like the surface area knowledge of that she has of just like these appear on they appear on her when she's in battle and she put and she's like really working hard with her magic and all of that. So I mean, it was a little bit of a taboo topic at home, so she's not like super versed.
Yeah. He probably stops eating for the explanation and he's just gonna sit there like looking over at her occasionally, but not all the time. Like he's not like just gonna be like, yeah. And he's interested. He wants to know what's up.
But yeah, I mean, and she'll actually kind of talk about it. She's just like, I don't know a lot. Poet had to smuggle library books to me sometimes. Unfortunately, certain people didn't really want me knowing certain things, but
yeah, well, you're certainly very, very knowledgeable now. Right?
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, that wasn't easy for you.
Well, I left, so.
and yeah, okay, he's sticking up for that now, I think. And nod and say, yes, that was one of the reasons I would say that.
Again, I don't know what to do now. Do that. She's just kind of she's a little bit like she still like holds most of her cards to her chest concerning certain things, but it's still just like she's kind of just content to otherwise sit around and enjoy Aaron's company and let him paint.
Aww. Yeah, I think he's like, and just return to what he's doing and sit there in comfortable silence for a while.
Nice.
All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before the evening?
I'm gonna show my tuning fork off to Tobias. Shout out to whomever I want to.
Look, the pretty druid lady gave me a nice fork.
Guess what, guys? I'm one step closer to leaving all of you.
Tobias is
Aaron
happy for
is
Lish
conflicted.
because Lish obviously, looks happy about getting the tuning fork and stuff. It's like, I don't entirely know how it works, but I'm glad that you got it.
Well, figured out along the way I do need the second one still. I don't think I could cast the spell even if I had the other one yet.
wonder where we would go about finding that other tomb for it.
Oh, I don't know. There's plenty of little Fae hiding places around the world. Little passageways and connections. Whether or not we could use them, I don't know. Perhaps the next Fae we come across.
The Archduchess mentioned that Baba Yaga's house can teleport between planes.
She said a lot of things about Baba Yaga, didn't she?
What do you know of her?
I don't know if Baba Yaga is a very powerful, he's kind of like to the air a little bit, like very powerful, very strong, like as if Baba Yaga would be scrying on them like right now. Very powerful.
Fucking sipping tea, looking into a scrying device, and she's just like, eyes narrows. Is this bitch gonna talk smack about me?
And as old and beautiful as the ages, and I I would not at this time recommend us pursuing her.
I want to insight check. I want to roll an insight check.
All insight check.
What are you insight checking exactly?
Well, that's a 18 on my insight check. Are you afraid of her?
Yeah, so Lish, you can roll deception or persuasion. Don't tell what it is.
I mean,
To combat
I don't know.
this if you so choose.
Let's see here. I don't know. I don't think in his response he just kind of like looks at Demir and is just like, let me be clear that Baba Yaga is older than I am. And kind of like imparts that on Demir. Like
Demir's kind of like, that's possible?
But you're old as balls.
The
Lish just kind of gives her like a, it is possible, you know.
The way the Archduchess spoke of her, she definitely sounds dangerous.
There are things in this world that even I do not toy with. And the lovely ladies of the woods, hags are not something easily trifled with. There's a reason, Tobias, that Baba Yaga is able to transfer herself between all kinds of planes very easily. And if we were to bargain with her, that would be quite the debt.
Seeing how, well, what you powerful fae that we have witnessed so far work. I can believe that.
As you should. As you should. I'm not saying we don't approach her or any number of hags in the area. They can be quite lovely. But we have better come bearing something worth their while. Because if you thought that the great blue snake in Tasha's tent was asking for a lot, it will be nothing in comparison.
If I remember correctly, though, you were the one that was the most against giving your memories to the snake.
Yes. You shouldn't just go around handing your mind over to vague, invisible creatures in the woods without a proper thing in return.
Well, that part is obvious, yes, but I've always been curious if you were afraid about losing any memories at all.
My head right now is as empty as it has been my entire life. There's very little around here that isn't extraneous, as it were. I have very little that I could lose without it dealing a hefty blow. Perhaps if I was myself once more, I'd have more things to bargain with.
How long have you been on this planet?
How long have we been together now? About that long and some change. He's like looking into the middle distance, like trying to kind of calculate it out, but it's clear that he's not entirely sure. The way that time works down here seems to be a little it was a bit of time, but not very long.
I see that.
I come down to the prime material plane every so often, but it is just a headache and a half trying to keep track of things. I far prefer home.
I think it's fairly easy.
What is easy?
A day is only a day here. A night is only a night.
Depends on how you look at it. Depends on who you are.
After you find the second tuning fork and learn how to get back to the Feywilds, I assume that will be it then.
Lish kind of takes a breath and like crosses his arms like, The Archdruidess made a fair point when I was speaking with her, that if I were to go now, as I am, As I am. Cutie pie.
Cuties.
It may not go very well. So, there is much to contemplate in regards to that. What I will do.
So that means you'll be staying with our group for at least a little longer after that, yes? And Tobias looks a little hopeful at that.
Now, Tobias, did I say that I would be going into the Feywild alone? I do so hope that you'd want to see my home. Or are you saying that that has no interest to you?
Kind of hears embarrassed.
Demir like, no!
Demir just kind of in the background like,
Tobias kind of appears a little embarrassed at that, and sheepishly says, "Oh, right, I didn't want to assume that, or at least I didn't expect that you would want me to come with."
And why not? It's a fucking rat carnival going on over there.
I'm really sorry. She's like actually insane.
It's all right, Felix.
It's like this
Pets
24/7.
interrupting
She
video
doesn't
feeds
stop.
is just listen. Pets interrupting video feeds is just a mood of every session at this point. It's fine. We're not getting too sidetracked for it. It's just fun entertainment in the background while Lish and Toby just have a moment.
I mean, it's weird because like she's helping me concentrate on like remembering what's happening. So
Yeah,
sorry.
no, go for it. No, but I don't think anyone else has an issue with this.
It's very
Right?
cute
No?
to watch.
I'm loving
Okay, cool.
it.
Sometimes when you're having serious conversations within a campaign, it's nice to have a little tension break every now and then. And sometimes that takes the form of rats running
sniffing
around in
camera.
circles on
Yeah.
Felix, or my cat attacking me.
Or Hawk doing something stupid. It comes in many
Yeah,
forms.
it's fine. It's all good.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Anyways,
Fidget
carry
rat,
on.
fidget rat.
Sorry.
Good.
Lish just asked, and why is that? Why would you assume that I wouldn't want you?
I'm not sure exactly. I think I'm still getting used to the idea of people wanting me. I think I'm also still trying to find my place in this trio of ours. And he indicates to all three of them.
Well, it's a lovely view from the throne room, and I'd hate for you to miss it.
Then I'll hold you to it then.
Gonna watch me knock that bitch off my throne.
Tobias in the background. Fucking get her ass, babe.
Just like
Like, babe, hold
I
my
love-
flower.
I love the
got your
mental-
flower. Kick her ass.
I love the mental image of Lish and the party storming into the throne room and the rest of the party just cheering Lish on as he dukes it out with the current throne holder. just like fist fight, and in the background, like, you got this,
Fisticuffs.
man.
There's like pulling each other's hair, like cat fight. Good.
Full on Mean Girls fight right there.
The Archdruidess gave you what you needed then. It was a very lovely speech. I think she knows exactly what we're about.
It's very apparent that she might know me more than I know myself.
Well, she said that she'd met us multiple times before. She knows me. She knows who I am on a very deeper level than the casual stranger. So that says something about what kind of time, plane, conundrum that we've found ourselves wrapped into.
You said that time runs differently between this plane and the Feywild, correct?
Does between many of the planes. Feywild, I feel, is simply more aggressive in its fight back.
And you mentioned that there's been issues with Fae being able to travel in between.
Not every Fae can.
So, from what information we've gathered so far, Demir, myself, and Levy, I guess also technically Hawk now that I think about it, because of his vision that he said at the very, very start where he met us before, very vaguely. So that's 4 of us so far that have had visions of meeting people eventually, although in Levy's case, we avoided those people.
It is very
And then
strange.
there's the fact that we woke up in the field together, and
It
now
is
the
very
Archdruidess is saying that she has met us before, but we just have not met her yet. Is
It
it
is some sort of fate.
possible for the different planes to either fracture or merge?
I don't believe so. Not unless something were very, very catastrophically wrong. That could destroy everything. You wouldn't want that to happen. And I don't believe that Fiola or her icy mistress would be capable of doing that just on their own, unless there was some larger godly plot going on. After all, my throne is but one piece of one plane. There's so much more to consider.
Did the Archdruidess say anything more to you?
Just that she cannot remember. Like so many of the others that we've met before, they have that same feeling of knowledge, but no actual memory of it. Although the Archdruidess did remember more than others, and said that she could not dabble more than what she already was saying. And DM, I don't remember any of the other specific details off the top of my head. I think that covers most of it.
Yeah, pretty much. She, you did not roll an insight check on her, but she did not wish or seem to be able to elaborate.
Yeah. She said that doing so perhaps could fracture things. She did indicate a fracturing, although I do not know her level of insight on that.
There's definitely something wrong with this world. We just don't know what.
I think there's something wrong with us.
As in the fact that we are here as a group is what's causing the problem.
I only say that it is very strange for us to all have woken up in a field together.
That does seem to paint us as a catalyst of sorts.
Perhaps. Of what I do not know. I don't necessarily know if I understand why we, out of all people, were chosen for such a thing. Perhaps myself and Demir, perhaps, but I do not know.
Your comment was out of character, right? I saw you do the
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that was his like mental thought there.
okay, right.
Just like, I don't know, maybe I shattered the worlds somehow. I don't know how the fuck it would relate to anything or to
My
you
tumbling
guys.
out of the Feywild was not neat or clean.
I'm sorry, I must have knocked into a bunch of people on farms and in woods on the way down.
I flipped the brake plane switch on my way out. Sorry, guys.
Ah, fuck.
I
In
meant to
case
hit the
of
light
emergency,
switch.
brake plane.
It's placed right next to the light switch. It's like, oops.
He's just like,
Shit, now I'm dethroned and I can't see.
It feels like the more we learn about each other, or the more that we go seeking for answers, that we're connected to more powerful things. For example, there's you and your court, and he refers to Lish. For Demir, or he turns to Demir and says, I admit that I still not fully know the extent of your history, but
that is
mentioned-
strange, isn't it?
you mentioned that you were once part of nobility and that you wanted to get your name back, in a sense, still connecting you to the Fey courts in a way. I learned that Baba Yaga was the one who made the owl bears, and that perhaps the original one may be locked in a cage somewhere, crying out for help. Then there's Aaron, Celestial. Is it Aaron half Celestial or full Celestial, or is it common knowledge Aaron is Celestial?
I'm pretty sure Asimar are half celestial, but I'm gonna let Dove answer that question.
So, Azamars and half celestials are different things. Azamars means that there is celestial blood somewhere in the bloodline. And it can pop up anywhere, really. It's sort of like tieflings. Like, there will be generations of a human family, but then a tiefling child will just happen. Or it can be like someone or something did something extraordinarily good or extraordinarily bad, did some shifty shit or some good shit, and then they can be blessed with an Asmar tiefling child. Half Celestials are like, your mom fucked an angel. So, different things.
Yes, to my knowledge, my mom did not fuck an angel. To my knowledge.
God
To
damn
my
it.
Yes. I do believe it is common knowledge that Aaron has celestial blood that's just from his general sistership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will rephrase that a little bit. There's Aaron who has celestial blood that runs through him and has his ancestors' ghosts watching over him in combat. There's Hawk, who comes from a different country entirely. He's built and kept secret, but somehow has a picture of all of us together. And then, just so I speak on Levy's part correctly, Levy has connections to a being that's in the dream plane. It's
Half
been
of
a
her
while since I've
soul-
heard this.
Half of her soul is a dream spirit, and then also, just for posterity's sake, Poet is a tiefling, and he is her cousin. So
What in the name of pundit squares happened there?
listen, it's fine.
During
And
It's recessive.
the party knows the name of that sphere as a postal. Like, did she directly mention that when she was telling the party about her past back at that
They
one
know
inn?
of the spirit. No one knows its name.
Okay, just a dream spirit. Okay.
Half of her soul is the spirit from the plane of dreams. That's all we know.
Go. I'm in the Zivi who is connected to that dream spirit.
Must it all
Now-
be so complicated? I not to say that you are wrong or barking up the wrong tree or anything like that, but where I come from was a fairly large city, and there were many folk of many different heritage and abilities. Us waking up together is certainly unusual, but perhaps our nature is not necessarily
I mean, you may have grown up in a large city where there were others of varying talents and origins, but you still entered the Feywild.
through him.
And that's
It
what I'm
was
saying, is that
Not my doing that brought you to the Feywild.
regardless, it means you still have a connection to a different plane.
Perhaps
Granted-
if I find a tuning fork and tap it upon myself, it will tune to the Feywild. Would be an interesting experiment. I am technically of the Feywild. I don't know.
Tobias kind of just like gives a resigned shrug. Honestly, I could be entirely wrong. I was recluse. I still am, technically. I don't know much about the world or the Fae or mystic arts or anything like that. All I can do is just take what's been given to me, information-wise, and try to piece some kind of puzzle together. But who's to say if it's even anywhere close to the mark?
I don't think you're barking up the wrong tree. I think we just need a bit more clarification, a bit more information.
It's certainly something to consider.
Who knows? Perhaps we'll stumble upon something in these woods that can help. Like the Archdruidess, for example. A massive step forward. Holds up the tuning fork.
She was
Lish loves his new fork so much.
He's very excited to make even a small step of progress, okay?
Dare I say, he has a fever that can only
At last, at last I am one step close to assembling my Fey band and touring the realm.
Not with you lacking one string on your guitar, I'm not.
Hey, Hawk's not a Fey. He can't make the cut.
You're something. I think that can count.
join
I
my
will
That is
choose
fair.
to take that as a
Not
compliment.
human.
Hawk
Sorry.
is there, escorting Biog, who's playing the lyre.
Yes.
Yes, Biog is technically a Fae, so Biog can be
Wait,
in the
wait,
band,
no,
but
no,
Hawk
no.
cannot.
No, wait, no.
Hawk
Hawk's
can
still
be
playing-
the
wait.
perch that Biog stands on so that the crowd can see him.
Yes.
Hawk's still playing the lyre. Biak is a tiny drum set.
Wait, if it's Fae only, does that mean Demir technically qualifies as a Fae in law? She's very
Demir
delayed.
counts.
I mean, I'm
baby.
sure the Fae have a law for that.
Soon to be Fae.
Does she qualify? This is very important.
I mean, Lish says yes, so.
So there it is.
Lish says yes, Fiola says no. It's hard to say.
Aw.
Really. Laws are open. As any good Fae can tell you, things are open to interpretation.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
fine
kick
in
that
D&D,
woman's
but
ass
it's
so
Lish's
fucking
band,
hard.
so I feel like he gets the final say. Just
Anyway.
Does tenure count for anything? God damn it.
Tobias, at seeing Lish's excitement with the tuning fork, he goes, "Yes, that is true. She was quite helpful." Well, ultimately, it feels we at least have a more clear direction when it comes to uncovering the secrets of this mystery surrounding us. But regardless, I'm thankful that I have the two of you with me. Not only to just help me see through this journey, but you've also taught me a lot about this world. It's shown me how much better it is than I initially thought. You've helped me grow a lot more than I could have ever done alone and at that homestead. So thank you, both of you.
Well, remember, Toby, that you were the one who left the homestead in the first place. That first step was all you.
Perhaps. But I certainly wouldn't have overcome Tasha if not for your help. And I wouldn't have made peace with the beast inside of me either.
Hmm. I think certainly you all would be down one memory.
Joke's on you, it would have been memories I don't give a shit about. So.
Yeah, but then you would have gotten memories from other people that you wouldn't even like know anything about. Now I know how to properly pitch a hay bale. This is critical information.
If you
No.
don't want your own PTSD, trading it for somebody else's is fine.
Look, if you really don't want certain memories, just help me get my powers back. It'll be great. If you think a giant snake can do shit for you, just you wait.
Stealing names and stealing memories.
Stealing hearts too.
I doubt you'd want to steal mine. The ones I would have given to the snake would have just been boring old childhood, the endless loop of disappointment after disappointment. You know.
I think you greatly underestimate my interest.
Tobias kind of gives him a questioning look, like, really? I'd assume you'd be more interested in, I don't know, something more intriguing or exciting.
Well, those are always fine too. But I'm more interested in why those sorts of memories have lingered with you in such a way that you'd want to purge them. Why those memories? Why that need to get rid of them? That's interesting.
I think before I was a bit too much of a coward to try and face it myself. But after traveling with this group, after talking with all of you, seeing your own struggles and hardships, and after hearing what the Archdruidess had to say, I think I need to come to accept them rather than ignore them. Because if it wasn't for them, then I wouldn't have left in the first place. I wouldn't have been bit. I wouldn't have met the man I call my dad. And I wouldn't have met all of you.
Truth be told, I would have also been hard pressed to find a memory to get rid of.
I'm sorry, could you
Even-
repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Truth be told, I also would have been hard pressed to find a memory to get rid of. Even bad ones serve as a lesson. Can you guys hear this fucking man purring?
No.
Okay, because he is open mouth purring in my ear. It is very distracting. Sorry.
Off you go, tiny gremlin.
Goodbye. Like I said, even bad ones serve as a lesson.
That is true, yeah. Don't go wandering off into the woods alone.
Jeez, both of you. These people just wandering around the woods alone, getting into shenanigans. Lish just
One
has
of them
a
was
look
a
on his
fucking
face.
12-year-old child.
Lish has this kind of like smiling look on his face that's just like kind of like of the mood of like, now you're getting it. See, now you understand. This is why I wouldn't let you sell your memories to the snake, because every little bit of your memory is a part of you.
Loving this conversation because if Levy was there, she'd just be like, "No, I'd still forget stuff."
I'm having the same reaction over here.
It looks like Toby wasn't the only one who needs a powwow with the Archdruid.
You can still get one. Archdruid's not gone anywhere.
Yeah, and I feel like Toby has said all he wants to about this conversation unless Demir Lish asks him something else.
Now, Tobias, I think you neglected something.
Ah. Yes, I do think that he did.
It is rather rude.
Mm.
He kind of looks very concerned between the two of you, like actually genuine, like, oh shit, did I fucking forget something important? Oh god.
Wish kind of like leaning like in like
Stop, he already has anxiety.
Oh god.
You forgot to introduce us to Osi.
His
When were
eyes
you
kind of
going
widen.
to-
His face grows more nervous. He's like, oh, right. I forgot about that. Sure.
He is your father, after all.
How do I go about explaining this? He just kind of like has his head in his hands a little bit as he's talking. He's just like, fuck.
You don't need to make it so.
I've never done anything like this before. Honestly, I was
Never introduced anyone to anyone before.
I've never entered. Oh, I've never been with anyone. I've never introduced. Do I just walk up to him and tell him who you are and leave it at that?
Whatever you want to do.
I mean, I would just, and like Demir is going to like kind of sit up a little and then hunch over a little, kind of mimicking how Toby holds himself.
He's gonna fucking pout at that.
This is my party members, Lish and Demir. And over there is Levy. And over there is Aaron. And
Well, I
would like you to
told
meet
him all of your
them.
names. I already
Oh, you
told
did?
him the names and about all of you.
Oh.
Oh, really?
And that makes it easier.
When Lish says, "Oh, really?" Tobias just like looks at him a little cheekily and goes, "Oh yes, all horrible things, I assure you."
I'm certain of it.
I don't expect anything less.
All right, then. Suppose we should go do that. Yes.
All right.
Tobias will just lead the way over to Oopsie.
As you guys head over to Offsea,
How is that man doing? Is he dying yet of gangrene?
no, he's not. He's rolling really well.
Damn.
Also, the fact that now that the tribe's members are here, he's probably being attended to by healers and stuff.
Oh,
as well.
definitely. Yeah. But anyway, you guys have a lovely chat with Offsea. He shares more than one childhood story of Tobias.
Tobias is going, no.
This is all I
please.
want.
He's just like standing to the when these stories are being told. He's just standing off to the side, like face completely red, head in hands, just like no.
I think they've got Toby like between the two of them to like look at Tobias in like the middle of the stories and like snicker.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Demir,
He used to trip over his own feet all the time in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
How
Demir
horrible.
is definitely like up at Toby's side, just kind of like playfully like nudging him a little bit.
But
Now, when did
regardless,
he get so tall exactly? And was it just overnight or?
plenty of those kinds of stories. And he is definitely picking up on the vibe between the three of you, and he's happy to chat with you all, and he's friendly. And eventually, you all have dinner together. It seems that a couple of the hunters of the tribe managed to bag a couple of deer in the woods, and there's sort of a communal meal that goes on, and it's quite nice. And eventually, you all make your way to wherever you decide to sleep, and there's something quite nice about being around people again in such a way, particularly for those of you who are a little more used to being out in the wild like this. Erin, as darkness takes your mind, dreamless for a while, you sort of await the emptiness of sleep to carry you towards the dawn. Your sense of body fades, but your mind in the dark lingers for minutes, hours, days. Time loses any real sense of meaning to you, but it's like you're conscious for it, and that in of itself, it's almost maddening. And in that split second or endless stretch of experience so that you're currently unable to express. As the time passes, the air grows colder around you, though not in an uncomfortable way. No, it grows cold more like a brisk wintry morning. As this thought crosses your mind, you realize that you can see your breath as you breathe, a semi-opaque cloud in front of you as you breathe in and out. You concentrate on this, and the world around you slowly comes into focus. There are stone walls around you and a stone floor, but notably no roof. You can hear the sounds of nature around you, and you can see the frost on some of the stones of the walls. But it isn't until you see that familiar statue surrounded by the ring of water as you realize that this is the very temple that you and your companions defeated the Medusa in, although much newer. As you come to this realization, you feel a weight in your hand.
Gonna down and see what the heck that is.
Yeah. Looking down towards it, you realize that you're carrying an axe. It looks similar in design to your own, but it's not exactly the same. And there is gore smeared on the blade. You can roll a history check if you'd like.
Yeah, that sounds nice. That's gonna be a 6.
Okay. You look at the axe and you notice the blood on the blade, and you kind of feel its weight in your hands. It's got some heft to it. This is a good weapon. And as you're examining it, I would like you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, that's an 18.
18. You feel something in the pit of your stomach, like a slight pang of regret as you look at the blade, but you can't quite put your finger on the origin of it. And as you're kind of looking at the blade, someone calls out, Arld. A voice is calling out to you. You don't recognize it, but it is masculine. You feel your face turn towards the source of the voice to see a human man with olive skin and black hair. He wears rough leathers, not quite in the style of your tribe that you're used to. You can roll a perception check if you like.
Yeah, I think he's definitely doing that. That's a 14.
14. This man is unfamiliar to you. However, looking at him, you realize that he does carry some of the features of your fellow tribesmen, just in the shape of his jaw and nose.
All right.
As you look over to him, he says, why are you still here? And you can you answer and you feel the mouth moving to form the words, but you don't recognize the voice that comes out of you as you say, I'm concerned that you're not in the right. The unfamiliar man approaches you and he moves to put his hand on your shoulder. Whether you allow him to do so or not is your choice.
Yes, I do think I will.
Okay. And he puts his hand on your shoulder and forces eye contact and looks at you in the eye and says, do not allow the others to see you doubt. They need you unshakable, especially in the face of all those we lost against our enemy. And you kind of take a breath and say, I fear that we may have misjudged the lycanthropes. And you look away from your companion towards the statue surrounded by the water of the young man and the old man standing back to back. And you say, I fear they may not have been the mindless beasts we thought them to be. And the tribesman says, a child was killed by one of them. And you are still looking at the statue, as you say, he was caught in one of their snares. And then the tribesman, kind of moves back into your field of vision, standing between you and the statue, and says, and then had his throat cut. We defeated them and drove them out, and now our people can finally be at peace. Whether they had gods or not is not of consequence. I'd like you to make another wisdom saving throw.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You can feel the doubt, but it is not crippling. Before you say anything else, someone steps out from near the statue. He's completely unfamiliar to you, even in his facial features. But he wears the clothing of your tribe in a similar fashion as the one who stands in front of you. He's rather plain looking person, kind of forgettable face, but he walks with a nobleman's grace with his hands behind his back. As he approaches Erin, you can sort of feel a certain sort of distaste in the pit of your stomach. And the stranger says, let us not forget that you had assistance. And he was looking at you expectantly. The time has come for you to fulfill your end of the bargain. As you watch, the hand holding the axe twitches as if you want to strike him. What do you do?
How? This is, yeah, definitely upset enough. He's like, if he's able to do so, he's going to like definitely just been slightly like back, but still like, this is still very much a thing I have, and like nod expectantly in his direction. The strangers.
Mm-hmm. The stranger continues to watch you with his hands folded behind his back, and he looks as if he's waiting.
Am I able to talk?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's probably just gonna be like, what? And what would you have of me?
The stranger smiles, and there's something predatory about the way he does so. And he says, you know exactly what I want. I'd like you to make another wisdom saving throw.
That is cocked. That's a 5.
Okay. So you're looking at the stranger and the way that he's smiling at you. And the axe grows heavy in your hands. And before you can really think about it too much, you raise the axe and start rushing forward towards the stranger. And the world around you goes dark. You wake up and it is dawn. And that's our real call session.
Oh boy.
Well, things just happened.
Woo!
Oh God. You know, this is gonna do wonders for Aaron's mental health right now.
Guys, I changed my mind. Oh no. This is gonna be interesting.
Yes, it is.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
I have a couple ideas for how he's gonna react to this.
Well, got a week to decide.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to script.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Well, thanks for
Yes,
playing, guys.
Oh
I,
my
Yes,
god.
This
thank
was
you.
a session.
This
Thank
was a
you.
session. You've been thinking about not a
Awesome.
dream for and boy did that deliver.
Oh my god.
More.
Get lots of lore today,
So much
guys.
more.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it Saturday
we're doing
yet? I want
lots.
to keep going.
Right?
Right.
Hey, Reek, can you time skip to next Saturday?
Yeah,
Please.
can we
Well, you have to press
Go.
the specific button, and there will be an option to wait, and then you'll just stand still, and you can see the shadows moving around.
I'll
You
accept
can
it.
Shit, I
only
can't
wait for
write my
24
papers that
hours
way.
at a time.
Can
I would
we
like
just
to
do
take-
that Skyrim thing where we sleep for an entire week?
Yeah.
God.
So,
I want to take a moment to mention I jokingly said earlier taking extensive notes and stuff, but I just looked at the page count for the Google document that I have for session notes because originally I was doing them by hand, and then after going through a lot of sheets of paper, I eventually switched to digital. So let me see if I could actually.
Smart.
Ah, there they are. It should be there. Son of a bitch! Where did I put them?
You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking for the fucking stack of paper that I have. But essentially, for digital notes, it has now reached 36 pages
Oh,
of a Google document.
jeez.
Just notes per session. And
right.
it's sometimes not even, some sessions are like more extensive than others just because like either not fully paying attention, missing some things, or just extensive note taking of certain things. Oh, found it. Fuck yeah. Of course, it's at the very bottom of my stack of papers in my goddamn desk. But these are all the session notes from
God damn.
that I was taking by hand, and it goes from session one, or at least my session one, because I noticed on my numbering of things I'm like off by maybe like one or two or something, all the way to, it looks like session 20. Yeah, session 20, and then from session 21 to session 38. Although, like I said, the number's off by a little bit and stuff. So, but my session 38 is this one. These are all the notes that I've taken.
Damn.
It's like being back in college. It's basically my preparation for going back to college. Oh yeah, these are the ones that I did.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, those look so good.
Originally, I was thinking of giving him a hat. but
Aw.
no.
Toby.
Toby with a hat, a signature hat.
So good. So good. We need to get him one next time we're back in town.
Reminder that I love Mackenzie's art style.
Really good.
The art style that I'm still working on.
Oh,
It's still good.
so good.
Something can be good before it's finished. And you can't really say that anything you create is ever finished, yeah? Because it's always developing.
That is
Oh,
true in a way, yeah.
Very true.
We got lore drops on everyone this session.
God,
did.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Finally,
Yeah, I
Jin is
got, like,
actually
piece of
speaking.
shit.
Yeah, I got
Finally,
like,
some Demir
fucking-
lore, a single drop of Demir lore. Anybody?
I know.
my crops are finally
I
watered.
want Hawk to press Slish and Demir more, even though he does not like them all that much.
Fucking
I know, also.
been since
Oh.
Levy was in the library with everybody after Tasha's care that we've gotten Demir lore.
Yeah.
Not
Shit.
since the mansion, I don't think.
Yeah, not since the mansion, yeah.
Wow.
You goddamn
Anyway,
locked
guys.
book.
Thanks for
There's
playing.
enough lore this session. I got like 3
Yeah.
pages worth of
Yes.
notes typed out.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Thank you so
much.
This is such a
Thank
good
you.
Yeah,
Three of
this
us.
is
session.
good. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The entire thing with the Archdruidess, like, oh my God.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
that was so.
I'm gonna like
so
eventually
good.
listen back
And
on that conversation
Red.
because it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
speech was lifted up, or speech that you gave and stuff was just like, God damn.
This is everything Toby
Oh,
needed to
that was
hear.
beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks for
sure.
playing, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
fantastic.
You best not keep
Yes,
anyone.
Thank you
Yeah.
all.
See you
Sad as
next
it is.
time.
Yeah. Looking
See
forward to
you
it.
Bye.
next time.
So, bye.